Okay, we are live. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Look, it's been a little bit of an impromptu break, obviously, with Easter and everything that's happened. It's good to be back. Good to be getting back into the swing of things well and truly. And I got a lot of exciting news to bring you guys with Manchester United. And of course, just on a personal note, there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that I am working on at the minute as well that I really am excited to be able to share with you over the next couple of weeks and months. Some very exciting content coming up, some real big changes to the channel, and I think you guys are really going to like the direction that we're going to be heading in anyway. So thanks very much for that there one. Let's get into the news and let's get talking about some of the exciting stories that we have to bring you guys tonight. Of course, Jason Wilcox, a name in the news at the moment, a director at Southampton, previously with Manchester City's Youth Academy. Very, very likely he's going to be coming to Manchester United in the near future. From what we can gather and from what we can see online, it's basically United have approached Southampton for the technical director. They have refused to accept the buyout clause that they don't believe is in the contract. United do believe is in the contract. And Wilcox has basically put himself in a position of, let me go or I'll just quit. And it's a very simple demand. It's a very simple upshot of that there story, really, that he is just in the position where he's saying, let me go or I'll just go myself. You know, that's what it's gonna come down to. Either take the money from me or don't take the money from me. I don't really care. I'm going to United either way. So good to see somebody really wants to come here. Good to see somebody wants to be part of the INEOS project. Now, guys, on tonight's poll, I'm asking you guys for player of the month. Now, I'm only asking this because this is the Manchester United official list. You can go and vote for on the United website. Who's your man of the match? So your player of the month, sorry, should I say? Is it Onana, Garnacho? Is it Dallo? Those are the three options. Or is it somebody else? If you guys are voting for other, let me know down below in the comments who your player of the month is. I mean, it's pretty slim pickings. International break. We haven't really played all that much in the month of March, but I'll probably go for Diogo Dallo, in my opinion. I think been very, very good. And look, I'll also give big credit to Andre Onana, once again, really, really improving every single month, I think. And I think in a team that actually played the way it should be playing, in a team that doesn't have him facing the most amount of shots in the Premier League, he probably looks a much, much better goalkeeper than even the levels he's showing now. But he is showing good levels. He is showing good determination in goal, and he's keeping us in matches, important saves. Pretty solid month for him. I think Garnacho's, I don't know, I think it's more of a rogue shout, to be honest, but I think Dallo's going to be the clear one for me. But that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down below. I guess we'll go back to talking Jason Wilcox and we'll get talking about him. So, as we know, former Manchester City Academy director. Now, what does he come in to do? It's seemingly not going to be director of football. It's seemingly not going to be head of recruitment. It's seemingly going to be as a technical director. And all the talk online is the establishment of a multi-club system with Nice, with the Swiss club as well, owned by INEOS and Manchester United. Could he be the man to link all that together, to be the one, to be the linchpin between those organisations? We're seeing closer links with United and Nice. We were playing Nice in a friendly match, I think, for the under-21s pretty soon, if indeed we haven't done that already. Because possibly played even today. I'll have to go back and double check that. But the establishment of connections and links between United and Nice is definitely growing. That's an interesting one. That's pretty exciting. And when you see us linked to names like Aaron Anselmino from Boca Juniors, with the talk of us bringing players in, loaning them to Nice to develop, and then bringing them to Manchester United, makes a lot of sense. It does. It really does. And plus, it allows us to get around work permit issues. Big ups to United till I die. I'm good, buddy. I'm good. I've had a couple of days off. Feeling really good. Working on some exciting stuff for the channel. I'm not going to share it at the minute because I don't want to get everyone's hopes up, because it's not an instant kind of change, but it will be something brought in gradually over the next couple of weeks, and I'm really looking forward to bringing all that there for you guys, and hopefully it's really going to help the channel grow as well. Looking forward to that one. I guess Wilcox very desperate to join us, though. That's a good sign for me. You know, these are esteemed people within the footballing industry looking at the project going, do you know what, I fancy a bit of that. And I guess that's good. You know, the poll's still there. We've had no problem attracting names. Let's just hope they're good. Irfan is down there. Look, have to go now. No problem, Irfan. Thanks very much for joining in, buddy. Much appreciated. But yeah, look, certainly very, very interesting time coming up for Manchester United. Going to be a big big summer transfer window. Let's hope that we can lean upon the experience we have and the people we've managed to bring in thus far. We're not going to have Dan Ashworth for the summer transfer window. Newcastle are still being very petulant down there. United Taladai, good to hear about the Wilcox edition. Yeah, it's good to hear. I don't think it's done yet, but by all accounts, it seems to be a matter of time. He's pretty much put the pressure on Southampton. It's either let me go or I'm going to quit. I think that's pretty much the upshot of the story there. So he's obviously very desperate to come here. He's worked in Manchester before. He was at City. He's obviously highly rated. He's done a good job with Southampton. Sounds pretty good to me. Liman is down there. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining in with us as well. Much appreciated. But yeah, guys, got 12 votes on that one. On the poll, that is. Now, most of you guys seem to be going for Onana. 42, 38% now, actually. Someone else has voted for Dallo, I think. So that's a good one as well, guys. I think Dallo's my player of the month as well. Irfan would like us to win against Liverpool. I would like to win against Liverpool. I would also like to beat Chelsea on Thursday night. Let's hope we can do both, because dropping points against Brentford, yeah, I mean, that's not ideal at all. I guess what we'll do, guys, we'll move on to a second story, and it's the other man on the thumbnail. It's Julian Nagelsmann. Top-class manager. I think he's 37 years old, very, very young, got a long, long time left in the game. And to me, he is one of the outstanding candidates. Now, I don't think we should be sacking Ten Hag just to bring anybody in. I think you have to look at what's available and you have to bring in the best in class. And to me, Julian Nagelsmann is the type that I would really consider making a change to manager. That if Ten Hag gets sacked, I think Nagelsmann will be my number one choice. And the story is that United are really starting to become interested in Julian Nagelsmann. He's seen as a real potential candidate for that next managerial position if we do choose to sack Ten Hag. Not that we will, not that it's going to happen, but there is, of course, the possibility. There is the concerns with Ten Hag's management. The results have been very questionable, but the performances have been absolutely diabolical for quite a while. And Julian Nagelsmann, according to Miguel Delaney of the Mail, is of increasing interest should they choose to let go of Erik Ten Hag. Bayern Munich would also consider offering him his old job back. I don't know if he'll make that step, to be honest. If it would be a weird one to be sacked one season and come back the next. I don't know if anyone's ever done that before. I've got Bart down there. Good to see you, buddy. Do I have watch along for the games this week? Yes, I do indeed. I've got watch alongs for Thursday and for the Liverpool match. I think it's on Sunday. Bart says, do I have... Oh, sorry, I think Bart, sorry. Luman, no matter how good Onana is, he'll never be the player of the month for at least 2 years. I think the pickings are very low, man, because I think we played 3 matches in March, maybe tops. I really don't think we played a lot of matches in March, so we got to pick somebody. If you guys think it's another player, let me know. But my personal pick for the month is going to be Dallo. That's just based off what United's own internal player of the month poll is on what they're asking. So I thought I'd just reflect it onto you guys. That's the official lineup from United. Out of those players, I'm going with Dallo, to be honest. But till I die, could work on Nagelsmann. He's young, has got time in his hand. He does, yeah, and he's a very good manager, very exciting brand of football, very demanding. Football needs to be right, the players need to be right, but he could be a really good option for the INEOS project, and he might be a young visionary mind that perhaps they want. Maybe they want to bring people in like that. I guess time will tell. Like, we've got Barada in the door. It looks like Wilcox is going to be next. Dan Ashworth will have some kind of influence, even if he's not officially here yet. So there will be a decision made, and they might decide to stick with Ten Hag. They might decide to sack Ten Hag. I just think if they do go with that option, I think Nagelsmann's one of the best options we got out there. But obviously complicated by the European Championships, which could go on until the middle of July if Germany go really far in that tournament. So, you could be looking at not having a manager for the first part of pre-season, or literally coming out of pre-season into a job. So it mightn't be the ideal circumstances. It mightn't be the situation we all want. I do think we struggle a little bit under Louis van Gaal with the same stipulation when they had the World Cup. Obviously, the Netherlands, they went very deep in the 2014 tournament, and he obviously joined us late. And it was a little bit of a rushed pre-season. It wasn't ideal in that sense. Could this be the same? Potentially. It's another obstacle in our way anyway, guys. Now, Irfan is down there. What about Man United versus Liverpool? Can we win against Liverpool? It'll be very hard game incoming. Yeah, it will be. I think it'll be a more difficult match than the FA Cup match as well. I think it'll be a really important one because obviously Liverpool are going to be going for this Premier League title. They're going to come with their absolute strongest team that they can possibly field, and they're going to do their damn best on that pitch to try beat us. They'll be feeling aggrieved after the last match, make no mistake about it. United till I die, I can't back Ten Hag anymore. He's just caused too many rifts to save him. So it isn't even the rifts. I can take the rifts, I can take the fallouts, I can take the manager making certain decisions with certain players. The big thing for me, it's something I'm a big advocate of, is trying to learn from your mistakes. It's something I think we can all apply in our own lives. And I just feel like we've been making mistakes all season long and we have had no interest in changing them or adapting to them or trying to solve those issues. If we go back and watch that match against Wolves on match day 1 of the season, which I actually did, we have the exact same issues in that match as what we did against Brentford at the weekend. There hasn't been any evolution, there hasn't been any progress, and there hasn't been any real drive to fix those issues. We concede so many shots every single match. Brentford have had, in that match, had the most amount of touches that any team have had in an opposition penalty box in like 4 years. They had about 30 shots in that match. And this is a team that has won 3 matches from the 4th of November. And, we're putting in levels of performance like that. That's big concerns for me. That's massive concerns. Bart, is there any comments on Julian Wilcox, rumored to have been close to a technical director role? I think there was something about another appointment. It might have been Wilcox. Let me see if I can find it here, buddy, because there was something about there was something about someone who was connected to the Bruno Fernandes transfer. Yeah, here it is from Sam Seaver on the United Stand. For the new chief operating officer role, so COO, keep an eye on Hugo Viana. He was well respected within the INEOS group and played a part in finalising Bruno Fernandes' transfer to Manchester United. It is thought he will be interested in working on a new project. I'm not too sure where he's from. Currently, I'm not too familiar with the name. I'm assuming he's probably operating a Sporting Lisbon if he was involved in Bruno's transfer to United. Let me just quickly have a check at that. I think he is a sporting director currently. Hugo Viana, yeah, looks like he's a Sporting Lisbon at the minute. So that's potentially another no, Braga maybe, is it? I'll have to check this. It's kind of off the fly. I'm so fresh down there, buddy. What happened to the Newcastle dude meant to be coming in? The Southampton did any better? Oh, if we're talking Dan Ashworth, yeah, I mean he's on gardening leave at the moment. He will be coming. Like it's just a matter of when, not if. Newcastle are being fairly petulant with it, which is frustrating and holding up the whole process. Obviously, look, we went to City and took a keep guy out of their structure, but they just let us do it because they feel confident enough in their ability to replace. So let's just see how that one goes. I have Bart Slack this summer has 3 tournaments. United won't be in the Champions League, are not exactly a desirable destination. Yeah, look, Bart, I think that will definitely feature into it, buddy. Like we've got Copa America, we've got the European Championships, and we'll have the Olympics as well. So you will have players missing from preseason. You will have players delaying transfers to finish off tournaments and stuff. That could happen. So yeah, that's definitely a potential there. Just on that there one regarding Ashworth, he is still coming. I think very much Wilcox is coming in for a different role altogether. He seems to be coming in technical director, and there's talk it might be trying to link United's academy, United's squad to Nice, and Nice to the Swiss team owned by INEOS, kind of creating a multi-club system there. That seems to be what the objective is. And look, I think we can all have our own opinions on multi-club systems. Probably in terms of competitive football, not the best thing if you're at the bottom of said pyramid. You look at Troyes, for instance, in the City Football Group. They signed Savio, meant to be an exciting player for them. He was instantly loaned out without making an appearance for them to Girona, and then has been sold to Man City, all without having kicked a ball for the club that he originally signed for. That's not ideal at all. What have I got down below as well? United till I die. That Nagelsmann was just retired from management after managing Bayern in Germany. Yeah, absolutely not. Like, I think he's what, 37. He's got a long time left in the game. I know there's talk about him, Bayern Munich being interested in him again. I feel like he'll just take a look at it and say, "You guys sacked me for non-footballing reasons 18 months ago. Why would I want to go back there so soon?" Maybe it is a move he could make, but Nagelsmann's got time. He could go back to Bayern Munich in 20 years' time and still only be in his mid-50s. Like he is such a young manager that he can afford to do that. So I'm sure he will manage around the globe. Make no mistake about that. Bart is down there in terms of shot conceded. United ranked 16th in the league with 100 more shots faced than any top six side. Yeah, absolutely. Bart's dropping some knowledge on Portuguese football. Hugo Viana was a versatile Portuguese midfielder. He's a good and knowledgeable man with some experience in modern football. Yeah, I'm just not too quite sure on what the job role he's currently filling in. Obviously, it's a little bit of a rogue shout, Hugo Viana. I'm not too sure about what his current job is. I think he is. I think he's at Sporting Lisbon. I think he is a Sporting Lisbon. I think he must operate as some kind of director there. So that would kind of make sense. It looks like we're trying to pad out that area, and I think these are all necessary signings as such, appointments maybe we want to call them, because they're not really players. But it does make a lot of sense. We have not had an executive footballing branch of this football club in 15, 20 years. So it's vital that we do that we fill these positions out. Hopefully it's not too much cooks in the kitchen. Hopefully it's not going to be people getting in on top of each other. Hopefully it is going to be cooperation and people working well together, getting the best of one another, and that's going to be good. Who have I got in my comments? United till die. Personally, go for De Zerbi. Don't have to get the structure in place. I mean, yeah, De Zerbi's going to be another option. I mean, I've seen Brighton's profits today. It's like 120 million profit after taxes. Absolutely insane the way they run that football club. Man Utd, it's strange you, Mark Goldbridge, do criticise the wrong and given tactical decisions of Ten Hag, but want him to stay at the club. I mean, look, Mark Goldbridge, the level of critique that we get from Goldbridge is maybe the in-game tactics or a little bit wrong, or that it's the player's fault, or what I see increasingly online is that everything is solely the fault of Marcus Rashford at Manchester United. That's very much the agenda that they're running with. That's not my agenda. I try to call it down the middle. I think Ten Hag has had massive issues in terms of availability of players. Again, is that partly his fault due to the way we play football, that these players are performing lung-busting sprints 10, 15 times a match, and that's why they get interested? You could definitely make that argument. 100% you can make that argument. And we play pinball football with these insane sprints. Like, I've had massive tactical issues with Ten Hag this season. I don't get why we are persisting with this style of football, which is obviously just not working for us. It's obviously costing us matches. It's obviously costing us any semblance of control. We have faced, as Bart said, there are 15 teams in the league who have faced less shots than us this season. So I really do question why we persist with this. I know that he's got personnel issues, but I also think that it's a very frustrating duality and a double-edged sword, where Erik Ten Hag is making these tactical decisions because of the personnel, but the personnel are making him make those decisions as well. So it is frustrating, but it's just one of those. It's like, if he was trying to play his style of football and the players he brought were really smashing it up and doing really well, we could obviously then say, look, Erik Ten Hag has signed 7 first-team players, give or take, and they're all doing really well. It's the players who were here before who are really struggling, but it's not. And we signed Onana to play out from the back. We don't play out from the back. We signed Onana to play a high line. We don't play the high line. We signed Mason Mount to be help us with our control and energy in midfield. We signed Casemiro to try hold down the fort in midfield. We always signed Anthony to be an outlet on the right hand side. We signed Højlund to be our goal scorer, and we don't use any of them really to the best of their ability. I mean, Højlund literally will go through entire matches without getting 5 or 6 passes. These are tactical issues that he does need to work on, and these are tactical issues that I've had with him all season long. We have been counter-attacked on so easily. The rest defense is all over the place. It's frustrating. It's just a frustrating, because I think we can see the issues and we don't know why there's no steps being taken to resolve them. And it looks to us from the outside looking in that this is what Ten Hag wants, that this is plan A. And I think that's the frustrating part. If it was explained to us, or if we had more of a context, maybe we would be more forgiving. But I do think that this does seem to be the manager's first plan, is the style of football we see at the minute. That's frustrating to me, guys. United Till I Dies in the comments again. He says we need to promote more youth players. The youth systems produce more gems. Paying 100 million for a flop is just not on anymore. No, I agree with that. We got a lot of very, very good, talented young players coming in the next couple of years, across the pitch. We've got left backs, we've got strikers, we've got midfielders, right wingers, left wingers, centre mids, goalkeepers, centre halves. Across the board, we've got a very talented young player group of young players. Now, most of them, I will say this, most of them admittedly are probably under the age of 19, 18 maybe. You're looking at 16, 17-year-olds. So maybe next season is a year too soon for the majority of them to break into the first team. You might have exceptions like your Mainus or like your Garnachos, but I reckon in 2 years, 3 years, you'll start to see a lot of these players really break into our first team. And hopefully they can stay here. I really do hope that. Partisan there, can Hugo Viana help us tap into the South American market, as he is multilingual? I also remember playing against him on winning 11 in 2008. Honestly, some of the references Bart can come up with are just absolutely phenomenal, to be fair. But I will say this, yeah, I mean, I think the South American market is just not tapped into by United. We have a frustrating habit of, when we look to sign players from South America, we tend to get them from Benfica or Sporting Lisbon or Ajax or Borussia Dortmund. And what we do, guys, is we can see these good young players coming out of South America or other emerging talent markets. We let them go to these clubs. They do really well. And then we try to buy them a year later. Anybody could have told you watching River Plate a year or two ago that Julian Alvarez is going to be a really good player, that Enzo Fernandez would be a very good player. Anybody could have told you that Moses Caicedo could have been a good player. Anyone could have told you perhaps that you look to bring these players in at an earlier date, but we don't, and we end up spending a lot of money on them. And then if it doesn't work out, it wrecks the FFP. It messes up with our accounts for years upon years, and it adds to this whole dogma about United that we always pay more, that we pay extra, and that we don't do these smart things that we should be doing. And that's so frustrating to me as well, guys, because we should be taking that. And look, if you take a punt on Julian Alvarez, I think City signed him for about £15 million. If you take a punt on a £15 million player and it doesn't work out, then you spend £15 million. It's probably not going to be the end of the world. But if you go then and let him go to Benfica and then spend £75 million on him from Benfica, he has to work out, because you spend too much money for him to feel. That's kind of what I think we're going to be trying to change. And you see that with some of Radcliffe's comments. Jim Radcliffe himself had said, it's not about signing Mbappe, it's about signing the next Mbappe. That's what we got to do. I agree with that statement. Obviously, you want top players brought in. Obviously, you want really good players to be signed for the club, but they can't all be Galactico signings. They can't all be. We just don't have the work for it, guys. We don't. Bart is down there. I agree with the view as the setup is an issue, along with a lot of square pegs and round holes. Yeah, I think square pegs, round holes, absolutely. But I do also think it's like we're driving, instead of using a hammer, we're using a stick. We're using the wrong end of the hammer. We could get more out of them by using them in a different way. That's my thoughts. I don't know. It's not better in my head. United Till I Die, we could have promoted a youth striker ages ago. We kept Martial for some reason. He's just not what he used to be. The youth player would have had more experience. Yeah, it's true. I think Charlie McNeil is frustrating, because I think we had higher hopes than what he's gone on to achieve so far. I don't know if he can turn it around or if he will turn it around. I hope he does. Will save us a lot of money. if he can. Same goes with Joe Hugel. If he can become the player, maybe we hope he could be. Maybe. I don't know though. I have comments coming in from Taletop Gaming. Franco is a 16-year-old attacking mid from River Plate, has a release clause. We should go with him. I haven't really heard of Franco, to be honest, but I'll have to check him out. Honestly, like I haven't really been reading up too much on the South American market. I've actually found myself looking more internally at a lot of young players coming through the AFL system, through the Championship, through League One, even down as far as League Two. You know, you're getting young players coming through. Some of them very interesting. If you want a really interesting player to watch out for, look out for Ronnie Edwards off Lincoln. Really good young centre back, and he looked really exciting. He could be really an interesting player to be looking at as well. I have Bart saying, what did Bart say? The commercial side of Rashford, they might do it. Oh, we're talking Rashford leaving. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what's going to happen with Marcus Rashford, to be honest. I don't know. Apologies, guys. Sorry, I've just seen it corrected there. Ronnie Edwards is playing for Peterborough, not for Lincoln. But Man Utd is telling about his high school career. Interesting. Interesting. Did I miss a comment there? No, it's just people chatting amongst themselves. No, sorry, Sim is down there. Ralph Rangnick told United, but they know best. Anthony, 85 million. Yeah, look, again, it's another one. And I think the worst thing is that he was allegedly suggested by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and United didn't want to sign him for like £20 million, but Ten Hag asked for him, and we end up getting him for like 85 million. Like, you know, you really question what we're doing with ourselves sometimes, and the way that we run this football club. Honestly, guys, it's one of those ones. But look, I mean, another clear one that I would like to point out would be let me just see, because I know that I told this story a while ago and someone did correct me, so I want to make sure I get it right. But Camavinga is an interesting one. Camavinga was a player that, you know, we could have been looking at, and that we could have had under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but we didn't, and we never went after Camavinga, and these were players we could have went and got. And Camavinga would be the exact type of player we need. Legs in midfield, dribbling, ball progression, top player, so good on the ball, win so much tackles and stuff. And you know, these are other players we missed out on who we really could and should have had at some point. United Taladai, Ollie was known for playing Football Manager. He's not bad at picking targets. He's honestly not. I don't know if it is Football Manager. Tiled said Valverde. I mean, are we talking Valverde from Madrid? Federico Valverde? Yeah, I mean, I like him. I think he could be another good player for us, but I don't think he's necessarily the profile of player we need. I think we need a number 6. I think we need someone who can carry the ball, someone who can progress the ball, but win a lot of tackles, make a lot of tackles. And I think that those players are kind of rare in terms of what we absolutely need. I know that I've spoke at length before about Mats Pfeiffer, but I really do think the number 1 target should be Amadou Onana of Everton. I think that's absolutely what we need in midfield, that level of physicality, that level of strength, running, just raise the physical flooring of this team. And he's a proper number 6, and he is so good in possession. Go back and watch him against England. He looked absolutely fantastic. He really did. Bartis on there, Chelsea have a better goal difference than United. Yeah, Chelsea's our next match as well. I guess we'll get talking about that at some point. But yeah, I mean, we can be grateful for Chelsea at times. You know, every time United get a bad result, Chelsea also seem to get a bad result as well. 2-2 draw for them at home against Hem Burnley at the weekend might have been one of the worst results of the weekend. Possibly worse than United drawing against Brentford, although probably not. Well, it'll certainly be up there anyway. But Chelsea's an interesting one. They've got some pretty good players in that team. A lot of energy on there. Cole Palmer in good form, getting a lot of shots off, scoring a lot of goals this season. You know, he'll be a threat for them. Raheem Sterling does seem to be turning the Chelsea crowd against him, so I'm not quite sure what's happening there. A lot of energy in midfield with Fernandes and Caicedo. Obviously, Nicholas Jackson up front is a handful, does get very busy. Sometimes lacks quality, in my opinion, but I mean, he's certainly a very busy player. He will cause us issues, and I just really hope that with the injuries we sustained at the weekend against Brentford, we're not going to end up struggling with that there one either. United till I die. Kimmich is a must buy if we can get a deal done. I like Kimmich, but I don't think he's the option for me, to be honest. I think he's just. I don't really know what. It's interesting because Kimmich was originally right back, and then he obviously went into midfield. And now the kind of thinking is that he's better at right back again. Kind of inverting and coming inside. It's an interesting one. I don't know if he's the type of player we need. I think you look a lot of money for a guy who's 29 years old, as good as he is. I think these are the type of signings we need to move away from. It would scream of the Casemiro signing all over again. I would like younger players brought in, to be honest. That would be my personal preference, because I think we're at an unfortunate position as well, guys, where we can't really sign players at the top of their game. If a player's peak is 3 years, they're going to look at United and say that's a team that might compete in 3 years. So your options are either sign older players, which we have been doing with the Casemiros, your Varans, your Christian Eriksens, or sign younger players and let them develop here. I think you're safer buying younger players and letting them develop here and improve with time. I think that's going to be the way we go in the upcoming windows anyway. Anyway, guys, let me check the poll. Big ups on 19 likes as well. Lucky Singh down below. Casemiro, Kobe Mino, and Bruno in. Yeah, but I think that's likely going to be the midfield at the weekend. I don't think McTominay offered a lot to us. United till I die, right back and left back being neglected. Need an experienced head to solidify the positions. Wan-Bissaka and Shaw don't cut it. I think Shaw cuts it when he's fit, but then that's when he's fit. Lucky next matches, please. Oh, do you need to know the next matches? Next two matches are Chelsea and Liverpool. So quite a week ahead of us. Just in terms of our poll. Anyway, guys, let me make one thing very, very clear as well. This wasn't my personal vote for player of the month. This is from Manchester United, the club. This is who the club have put forward. They've went for Onana, Garnacho, and Dalot. At the minute, Dalot is winning with 35%. 15% are saying other. If you guys did vote for other, let me know who you think player of the month is down below in the comments. I guess if you want to know my thoughts, I'm going Dalot. That's just my reading off it. Bart said Valverde is good, but he's like Casemiro, a lot of mileage on his legs. Kimmich is good, but he isn't what we need. We need good pros who can rub off on Højlund, Mine, and Garnacho. Yeah, I think we want to build a core of players who are going to play together for a long time at the club as well. So that's why I think we're going to go young. I would absolutely love to get both Brantford and Onana out of Everton. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if we can do that. I don't know if that's going to be feasible. But who knows? Who knows? Because I think those are two players who answer a lot of our problems. And from there, that's your midfield sorted, that's your left centre back sorted. Maybe you can get Adarabioyo on a free, which has been talked about. Those are your two centre halves and offensive midfielders sorted. And then you look elsewhere, you start looking at forward options, your wide options, maybe a left back. A lot of players to be brought in anyway, guys. Lucky Singh, Casemiro, Kobe Manu, Mason Mount in for Chelsea. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's one of those. It's like, you see these stories written in sports sometimes, and typically we always seem to end up on the receiving end of a goal from an ex-player. But I mean, if we manage to get Mason Mount a goal at Stamford Bridge, like that could be an all-timer. That could genuinely have been like, I don't even know, like Ryan Giggs going to Liverpool and coming to Old Trafford and scoring a goal. That's kind of what you'd be talking about. Bart's on there. Am I scheduled to appear on the agenda? Yes, I'm on the agenda at 9 p.m. tonight as well. So make sure to join in for that if you can as well, guys. We're doing a preview for Chelsea, so I'll touch on it a little bit now because I don't really want to go too far in depth. Obviously because I need material for later on as well. Let me see. Valverde's an engine. He never stops. He's very fast, good at dribbling. I feel like. Am I right in saying that Valverde has had quite a few injuries, though? Am I right in saying that? Let me see. I'll quickly pull up his injury history. I think he might have had a few injuries. in his time, but I'll have to double check that there one. Obviously, look, I know he's played on the right as well. He's played in midfield, obviously. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, what he's missed one game this season. That's not too bad. 3 the season before, 5-1. No, sorry, yeah. Obviously he had a fairly bad knock in 2021-22 season. He missed 21 matches for that, but he's missed 10 matches through injuries in the last 2 seasons. It's not too bad. It's not the worst I've ever seen, and he is only 25. I just think he's one of those players, and look, I will say this now: as good as he is, we won't sign him because Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, clubs like that don't tend to sell players unless there's an issue. Unless there's an issue with a personality within the club, or there's an issue with their mileage, how much they've got left in the tank, how much they can keep on going for. That's the only reason you get to see them sold. Anyway, what have I got? Did I miss something from Dark Row? Dark Row, you talking about Lucky Singh's life? I don't know. It's confusing. Bart says he's had muscular injuries. Yeah, he's had a few. Tile said Valverde played all matches this season. Let me just. I'll have to go back and double check that. But I think it said. What is it? Oh no, sorry. Apologies, guys. That was last season. Yeah, he missed 1 game last season, 9 the season before, 21 the season before that, 2 the season before that, and then his first season in Madrid, he missed 10 matches out through injury as well. I think some of that's COVID. I might have to look back into that. He might have got COVID and missed quite a few games. I don't know. Bart is on there. If we really want a midfield dynamo, we should go for Camavinga. Yeah, we should. I'm begrudged that we didn't pick him up at the time. I think he was always going to be the player we needed. And I think Camavinga and Kobe Manu would be a really interesting pivot. You got a lot of ball carry in there. And Camavinga gets through so much work on the pitch. So versatile. Such a good player. But that's going to be him at Real Madrid now for the best part of his career. He's still so young. So unless there's big issues, I doubt he's gonna go anywhere. Lucky Singh is down there. INEOS are looking for now. Yeah, look, I'm sure INEOS will be looking results. I'm sure they'll look at the recent results against Fulham, against Brentford, and you'll really question where we're going as a team. Those will not look good on Eric Ten Hag's record. I've no doubt at all about that. I think the same goes probably for the match against City. Look, the Liverpool match will go in his favour. That's a team fighting for him. And that's the kind of traits we like to see in a United manager, taking the risk, going for the match, even when you've got so many injuries. And you're playing Bruno Fernandes at centre back, you're playing Anthony at left back, still going for it in those circumstances. That's the kind of stuff that will be positive on his record, but then going to Brentford and conceding 30 shots will be pretty bad in his record. Cool. Lucky Singh has done their performances. We need to focus on getting the ball back. Yeah, absolutely. Bart says Camavinga, the youngest player to play for Rennes in Ligue 1. This is the same Rennes that had young players like Ronaldinho on his books. Yeah, I mean, he was always going to be something special, Camavinga. And I think he's been handled well at Real Madrid. I don't think he's played an excessive amount of matches. And it could have been argued if he came to United, he might have been at risk of burnout as well. So he's definitely been managed well. Lucky Singh's looking to see desire and passion. I don't think we look. I don't think we regret. I don't think we lack for passion sometimes. I think you get frustrated players out there, but it's an interesting one because we went from fighting the entire way through at a time against Liverpool, then to going against Brentford and playing like we did. It's a massive frustration, guys. Sim, I love this chat. Is full of victims. I don't know what. Like the chat does seem to be pretty crazy tonight. I'm seeing stuff about I'm seeing stuff from all comers in there anyway. Let me see, guys. A couple of matches on tonight for anyone who is interested in those as well. What am I missing? Was there something I was missing? I think Newcastle are playing Everton at the moment. Not too sure there's been a goal or anything on that there one. I know Spurs are playing later as well. Talladai said, what's the last time we got first choice transfers? I highly doubt our window is going to be as good as people think. Yeah, look, I don't think it's going to be perfect. I really don't. I think that's a bit naive. I think that hoping for the best. I think that's looking at it and going like, yeah, look, we've needed new owners, we've needed new directors for so long, and now that we've got them, everything's going to be okay. There's no guarantee of it being instantly okay. It's going to take a while. That much is to be expected, but I think so long as we're in a better place come September with players who are going to be here long term, I think we'll be a lot happier with that as well. Bart says Chelsea have too many uber talented youngsters on their books to feel. I think a selective exodus, patience, and a proper vision could see them in the post Pep era. Yeah, it's about handling that kind of squad. It'll take a lot of balancing. They'll have a lot of players who they need to develop. I think they're going to have the issue of having spent so much money in advance with these long-term contracts that they might find themselves spending yearly budgets ahead of time, which is not good because you have a bad injury or a transfer not working out, and all of a sudden you've got Micallum Mudryk there for the next 5 or 6 years, or you've got like Malang Sarr there on 80, 90 grand, and you're taking massive FFP losses selling those players. Their only real sellable assets at the moment are Conor Gallagher and Reece James. We probably bailed them out last year by signing Mason Mount in the first place. United till I die, even with INEOS, it will take time for us to improve. Yeah, it will. It will. It won't be an overnight fix. It's a long-term project, but I think we just got to get this ball rolling. I really do. And Daz is down there. Good to see Daz. He is saying 90% of the squad needs moving. I wouldn't argue with that. I really wouldn't argue with that. I think long-term they do, but I think you've got to be realistic as well. I think 5 or 6 players in this summer, 5 or 6 players in the next summer. I think then you start to look at a more serious squad. And obviously that will depend upon other stuff as well. Bart says, how do you know who first choice transfers are? For example, Anthony was signed after the Gakpo deal was not possible. Yeah, it's true. We don't know what first choice transfers are. I think it's just getting the right players in to fit the system. That's going to be key. Daz says it will be over a few seasons. Yeah, it will be. It'll have to be, man. I've got Stephanie in the chat saying 25 likes. Yes, guys, thanks very much for 25 likes. And if you guys did miss the start of the stream, there was a quick update I wanted to give you guys. Look, obviously, fairly inactive over the weekend. Not haven't been completely idle. I've been working on a couple of exciting things, some things that we're going to bring to the channel over the next couple of weeks and months, planning summer content, planning stuff that I'm going to be doing for European Championships, even Copa America. Going to be very exciting in the next couple of months on the channel. Really excited to bring that to you guys. But obviously that will be like the INEOS takeover. It won't be an overnight thing. It will be a gradual thing, but it will be very exciting. I hope you guys are going to like all the improvements and changes that will be coming on the channel. Going to try to get as much variety and as much content out there as possible in every single way. So make sure you guys are keeping an eye out for that there as well. Tiles on there, McTominay needs to go. He is so bad. I think McTominay is an important player for us at the minute, buddy. I think he's a guy who gets us gold. And we've struggled for those goals this season. I think Ten Hag might have been sacked by now if it wasn't for those goals. Make no mistake about it. But at the same time, I also think you surrender so much control when you have that figure of, or that type of player in a team that can't control the ball or control the match in the first place. It works well at Real Madrid for Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham maybe doesn't contribute all that much in terms of the overall play at Real Madrid. Mostly what he has been doing is being box crasher. He's been operating as a forward player, getting a lot of goals, but he hasn't been instrumental in the Real Madrid midfield department. But he doesn't have to be. They've got Camavinga, they've got Tchouaméni, they've got Valverde, they've got Modric, and they've got Kroos behind him. So he is free to go out there and play that kind of role. The thing is that United, if we play McTominay, for instance, in a similar kind of role, obviously not as good a player as Bellingham, I'm not saying that, but if we play McTominay, then all of a sudden you've got Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes trying to hold down your fort. Bruno doesn't really have the discipline to do that. He doesn't really have the running power. Casemiro definitely does not have the running power because he has always been on the stretch this season. He's always been jumping into things and he's just been off the pace. So, we're kind of operating with a non-existent midfield. No control, no semblance of possession, and it's very frustrating as well. Tal said it's because they have no striker. It's true, yeah. That's been their system at times as well. But they have played Hossley as well. They played Rodrigo through the middle. They played Vinicius through the middle. Played a lot of players there. Ancelotti's a very flexible guy. He's not really tied down to systems or overall tactics. You know, he prefers leaning on the idea and the principles of collective trust, and that the notion that if you have good players and you give them the freedom to go out there and play, that they will just do that. And sometimes they do. And it's been very successful for him at Real Madrid so far. Definitely has been good for him. What have I got, guys? Steph is down there. Good to see Steph anyway. I think Sim says something about Steph. Lucky says McTominay, Sancho training will be looking for replacements in Germany. I mean, we might look in Germany or we might look elsewhere. We haven't really had a good hit rate of buying players in the Bundesliga, to be honest, guys. Over the last 10 years or so. That's an interesting one. Like, would you guys count any of our Bundesliga signings to be successes? Because I think you're looking Shinji Kagawa, not really. I think you look at Henrik Mkhitaryan, not really. You probably look at Sancho, no. You look at other players that we brought in from the Bundesliga. Sabitzer, not really. Even if you want to go back further in that, Owen Hargreaves, I think we got him from Bayern Munich. Someone might want to correct me. Till I Die says the issue with our forward line is they're too selfish and don't pass to Højlund much. He barely gets service in and just tries to shoot. Yeah, I think he doesn't get enough service for sure, man. I think he could maybe do more with what he's got. I wouldn't mind seeing him treating the ball with more care at times. I do think that will come with age. He's only the guy's literally just turned 21 like a month ago. Like so that will come with age. And I think he's frustrated as well because very much he might only get one shot a match. If he gets the ball around the box, he can double his shot tally for the entire game by having to go. So that's kind of what his thoughts are. But if he did look after a little bit more, maybe we would get more joy up front. But I do think it's one of those cases that he's probably taking shots on and probably trying to rush things because he gets so little of the ball anyway. So starved of service every week. Matata is down there. Newcastle beating Everton 1-0. Isak scored. Yeah, look, Everton's not looking good at all, guys. That could be a relegation candidate. Same there. No mistake about it, guys. Really, really could be in danger, Everton. And even if they do manage to stay up on points, you then have to start looking at a potential second points deduction. Who knows what's going to happen there? So yeah, like Everton going down would be a bit of a shock, but it's not impossible. Till I Die, gone are the days of 4 strikers rotating. Now we have Højlund and Martial, mad times, lol. Yeah, absolutely, man. I think it's just the changing systems. You know, we went from a 2-striker system to a 1-striker system, so you don't really need 4. It's good to have players you can fill in. I think Rashford maybe on the very off day could be like an extra striker for you, but not ideal. But yeah, I mean, you want to see a striker brought in somewhere, you really do. Guys, thanks very much for 26 likes as well on the video. Much appreciated. I'll have a look at the poll. 26% of you guys went for Onana for Player of the Month. 24 for Garnacho, 35 for Dallo, and 15 for other. So that's an interesting one. I would agree with that. I think Dallo's been the Player of the Month so far. Obviously, slim pickings. That is not my definitive list. I might have put 1 or 2 different options in there. That's just the list put out there by Manchester United themselves. Lucky Singh wants Amadou Onana. I agree. Dewsbury Hall. I like Dewsbury Hall, but I don't think he's different enough to the players we have at the club in the midfield areas to warrant really going for him. If Leicester somehow don't get promoted and he's available for 20-25 million as per his contract, I would get that. Jarl is down there, 3 goals in 2 games by Isak. Yeah, I think he got 2 penalties at the weekend, scored tonight. He's good, like Isak. They'll be 2 points behind us, says Jarl. I think we're back, guys. We back? We good? We all good? I don't know what happened there. My mic just stopped working. Happens sometimes. Thanks very much, guys, for letting me know anyway, because I would have talked there all night, honestly. Compressor. Just gonna get my noise gate up again. We should be good now. There we go. That should be us. I think we have got Ian as well. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, there we go. I think that's us. We good? We good? I think we're good. Looks like I'm recording audio again, which is nice. It's always nice to have audio. I think I was talking about Ivan Toney before my mic cut out. Yeah, I think just like to get him out of Brentford, you're talking 70, 75 million pounds. A lot of money. I don't know if we're going to do it. I don't know if we're going to pull the trigger on it, to be honest, guys. Big ups and 27 likes as well. Much appreciated. Let me double check one thing. And yeah, guys, as well as that, just before I do forget as well, don't forget, I will be on the agenda tonight. That is the Man United agenda at 9 p.m. I think it's me, bath time, Mr. B, and possibly on Monday doing a preview for the Chelsea match on Thursday. So make sure to join in for that. Pop on over there as well. Great bunch of guys over there on the agenda. Always love to be on there. Daniel is down below. I'm good, buddy. How are you? Not doing too bad. Yeah, Teledai is a great mad money. Yeah, would be, buddy. Like it's so much money for Ivan Toney, and I like him as a player. I like him as a profile. I just don't know, like, if the personality adds up, to be honest, with what we really want or what we really need to be getting. Daniel said 7 the goat. Yeah, guys, much appreciated, buddy. What have I got? If any was a point Southgate, I'm going to scream. Yeah, I mean, if any was a point Southgate, I'm just going to delete the channel. Like, I'm not going to cover that there and spend any more time on it than what I want to. Forest are 2-0 up on Fulham. That's probably quite a big result there, potentially brewing at the bottom of the league. Forest going to pull off another great escape. Who knows? Who knows what could happen in that there one. Sim is down there. Thought I went deaf. I'm getting old. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I think my mic just like knocked off. It does that sometimes. I don't know why. But yeah, it is what it is. Look, guys, I think we're going to leave the stream here. Got to be on the agenda at 9 p.m. So going to go take a quick break. So we'll be on there in about an hour's time, guys. So make sure if you want to join in, it is the Man United agenda here on YouTube. Will be a fun show. I hope to see some of you guys over there. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks very much for dropping the likes on tonight's video. And I'll catch everybody same time tomorrow, 7 p.m. UK time. Much appreciated, guys. Have a good one. And hopefully see you all later.